Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go again. Episode 46 at Face Value. I'm Brian.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Will.
Super excited to have you back again for another week. Same old stuff going on. We're going to change it up a little bit to start it off. Going to start a little segment. We call it Hugs and Hikes. So we'll do a highlight. So each one of us will do kind of a highlight, something that's been going on the last week, and then we'll...
Somebody you want to give a hug to.
Somebody want to give a hug.
Shout
Could be a
out.
heartfelt moment, some kind of shout out. Or and then we'll tell somebody else to take a hike.
Yeah.
So we'll go from there. So Lucas, if you want to lead it all.
I'll start with my hug. Again, it's not super relevant here in America, but Arsenal women, they won the Champions League, so they're champions of Europe. Pretty sweet. They won in 2006, so it's been a while since they won the Champions League.
It was a big upset too, right?
Yeah, they beat Barcelona 1-0, which is pretty cool. I really wish Arsenal's men were playing in the final this upcoming Sunday, but they fell a game short. So, yeah, big hug to the Arsenal women, champions of Europe, which is pretty sweet.
There you go.
Yeah.
Will?
I'm gonna give my hug to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, winning his first MVP. I've talked about it here multiple times. I thought Jokic should be the MVP, but I thought that the NBA would get a little voter fatigue, and if you looked at the final results, they overwhelmingly thought that Shea was the MVP this year. Had a great year, best player on the best team record-wise in the league. So, not saying it wasn't deserving. I think it was very deserving, and so he's now an MVP. So my hug is for Shea.
Was it pretty unanimous, like on the votes?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
70 something to 20 something in the
Okay.
first place votes.
Yeah.
Every first place vote that him or Joker got all the first and second place votes.
Yeah,
Whichever way they voted, it went one way or the other. But not quite as close as I expected. But again, two very deserving guys, and I mean Joker does have threes, so
So the streak continues of a
international
non-U.S.
international
player winning the MVP. Wow,
since 2019, I
Yeah.
believe.
Keep on rolling.
it's crazy. What you got? Who's your hug?
Mine's kind of small, but I just wanted to shout out to Western Kentucky. In baseball, they won their first ever conference championship.
I like it.
In baseball, so played pretty well.
The Hilltoppers.
Yep, 165 today, so
Dang,
clinched the Conference USA championship. So
just to get bounced in a regional.
yep, played well enough to
Yeah.
get a 2 seed somewhere probably. So
Yeah. Who they beat? They beat
today they beat. God, I
God.
just looked at it too. Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, Kennesaw State they beat in the semifinals.
And
so
who were a big favorite?
Kennesaw State much
Yeah.
better at baseball than football apparently. So
Kennesaw State's a good baseball program
yeah,
for sure.
So yeah, it's a good win for them being able to get out of the conference. So
Yeah.
all right, who's taking a hike?
All right, I'll start with this one, man.
I feel like we could get in some conversations with these.
I can tell this person to take a freaking hike, man. Even though LSU's in common, Angel Reese has to take a hike.
Yeah.
At this point, I was gonna say y'all might have the same one as me, but
I
I mean, Angel Reese, man, like, just go take a hike.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much it. Just her style of play is brutal. Obviously, we talk about it, all the offensive boards, whatever. But man, just don't make it about you. Just go play the game. Just the whole thing that transpired with Caitlin Clark, the shoving, man. Just go.
It was just a basketball play.
It was.
It really
and,
was.
And just go play basketball, man. That's what it comes down to. I don't know who's all tuning into the WNBA, and I'm sure she's helping ratings, being kind of the villain of everything. But it's just overplayed. I see it way too much on social media. Just go take a hike.
Well, and that's I actually saw something where somebody argued that it's actually becoming negative for the WNBA.
Yeah,
At this
because
point,
all
yes.
the attention is now just on the feud, quote unquote.
But
And it's really a one-sided feud. Like,
the thing is, though, is any publicity is good publicity. Like, even if it's negative, like, people are talking about the WNBA. If this doesn't go down right now, this doesn't get touched on this podcast at all. WNBA.
Ever, no.
We don't even mention those 4 syllables or letters, whatever. It's technically 4 syllables too, but that doesn't even get mentioned. WNBA, yeah.
W.
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 Yeah, W. W. I guess that's 5. Whatever. It doesn't get mentioned, so any publicity is good publicity. But man, it's tired. I'm over it. I'm definitely over it.
Agreed.
Yeah, she's also not that good at basketball.
She's really not.
No.
So I mean, if you're someone that's like, don't be running your mouth like this unless you're like one of the top people in the league. That's my other thing. Like,
First player like 400 boards or something.
But what's crazy
Fastest
is
to
so,
400
like-
boards.
but did y'all see the picture I sent?
I know.
In a 30-second span, she got like 5 rebounds, all of her own misses. I didn't send y'all the clip. The clip is worse than just the
I saw
just the stat
clip.
line. The
I
clip
saw
is
the clip,
terrible.
yeah.
She's just throwing things up there, getting blocked, and just grabbing. It was ugly basketball.
Literally hitting the bottom of the rim. Like,
So bad. Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
Man, my favorite. I saw a video. This guy's in Target with his basket, and he's looking at basketballs, and there's an Angel Reese basketball, and he tosses it to go into his basket, and it hits the rim and just bounces down. I thought it was so great.
Awesome.
He's like, "Oh, I think I'll get this." Tosses this great. But yeah, take a hike.
so Shea Gilgeous-Alexander got my hug for winning the MVP. The National Basketball Association can take a hike for how they decide when and where to announce the MVP. Every other award, they have a time when they announce this stuff, and then we just go on like a 3-4 week hiatus to announce the MVP to whenever they think it's the most convenient. Makes
Which is
no
wild.
sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't-
It was announced Wednesday, right before their was it Wednesday? Right before their game,
Yeah.
or right before the Eastern Conference Finals game.
Yeah.
They had an off day, just on a random Wednesday morning for no apparent reason. Like, just announce it at the end of the season when you do the rest of them.
You do
Like,
everyone else, exactly.
holding this out, it doesn't make any sense. Of course, there was the conspiracy was like, oh, in case they're gonna wait and see who won that series
In case
before
the
they
Nuggets
announce it.
win,
But
yeah.
isn't it voted? Isn't it voted at the end of the season?
It did. That's why
Yeah,
it's
it's a regular season award.
just announce it at the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, oh, well, if the MVP gets bounced in the first round, that would look bad or stuff. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a regular season award. Just announce it at the end of the regular season. Waiting these things out, to me, makes no sense. I hate everything about it. I hated what they did. NBA, take a hike.
I saw he gifted all of his teammates Rolexes.
Did he?
Yeah,
Nice.
pretty
nice.
sweet gift. I'm sure that's just like me going and buying a Subway sandwich.
Yeah,
How much money
pretty
that
much.
guy makes.
Yeah, he probably has
If you brought us each a sandwich next week, it'd be kind of the same thing. yeah.
Exactly.
he probably has a clause in his contract that he gets a
Yeah, it's probably
extra
included.
for MVP or something. So
Oh, exactly.
whatever whatever his little raise is,
Or he has a sponsorship with Rolex and he gets super discounted or just free.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, just stuff given away.
it's crazy.
Might take a hike. The Carolina Hurricanes can take a hike, man.
That's
Current-
a great one.
Currently
good.
on a 14-game conference final losing streak right now.
15 now.
Oh, I thought it was 14 going into Game 4.
They're down.
So it's now 15 games. Then,
Yes,
yeah.
15. And if they lose, that means they've gotten swept out of the last 4.
And been just completely non-competitive the entire series, just getting
Dude.
absolutely trounced all 3 games.
I will say, dude, Florida's good.
I
Florida
agree.
is very good.
But
dude,
how do you get all the way to the finals and then just
Crap down your leg.
but like this bad?
Yeah.
This looks like a team that has no business being in the playoffs, and they've won series to get to this point
Yeah.
multiple times.
That's what's crazy. Like, because Florida's
That's a-
gone to Game 7 both series.
Yes.
To get here.
That's a great take a hike, man. Yeah. That's
I mean,
brutal.
6-2, 5-0, and 5-2.
Yeah.
Have been their 3 losses.
It's crazy.
Like, not even close.
And they have good players. They have good dudes on their team like Aho, and there's some really good hockey players for Carolina. But God,
Again, you don't get here unless you're good.
yeah.
Isn't there also who's the guy from Dallas? Didn't he get traded from Carolina?
I'm not sure.
The one that's been on a tear,
No, that's he got traded from the Avalanche.
but Colorado traded him to Carolina. Then Carolina traded him to
Oh, maybe
Dallas.
Maybe.
So, like in the first round series, it was Dallas versus Colorado.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, this is the revenge."
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure it got traded to Carolina, and it just didn't. It wasn't a fit. It didn't work. So then they moved him on again. So, but I remember reading that he has a chance to eliminate both teams that traded him this season
Wow,
en route to the finals.
Well, he's on his way to the final.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
that's nuts. But that's
Tough, man.
a great take a hike.
Yeah, dude, I was just reading about it. I was like, oh my gosh, so bad.
What's worse? What's worse, that record in the Eastern Conference Finals or the Maple Leafs?
What is there?
Like the Maple Leafs haven't made like a Stanley Cup since like 1991 or something crazy.
When you look at the talent on the Maple
That's
Leafs,
what I mean.
you would. I think the record's worse because you would think you just fall into a win, but like
True.
it's still the Maple Leafs is very surprising because they have good players and big names that you would assume would get them to at some time
Yeah.
carry them in, but
Or just Canadian teams in general.
Yeah.
Like
they've been on a terrible tear themselves.
bad.
crazy.
So what's worse though too? Getting swept 4 straight conference finals or going to 4 straight Super Bowls and losing all 4 of them?
Super Bowls.
Absolutely, yeah.
Easily.
The Bills.
Bills and the Vikings, they've each done it.
Yikes.
The Vikings went to 4 straight?
Yeah, in the
I didn't know
it was-
that.
I think it was in the 80s.
I didn't know
Oh,
that either.
really?
I just
Yeah.
knew the Bills.
Yeah, I knew the Bills. But
Yeah, the Vikings were actually they did it first.
wow.
Yeah. It's happened
Yeah,
twice.
definitely those.
Definitely that.
That's
Definitely that.
that's tough.
I couldn't imagine, dude. I'd love to go to a Super Bowl though, just one.
I don't know.
Because you're saying like Maple Leafs haven't gone 91, or it's like, well, Cowboys haven't gone since 95.
Oh,
so-
I mean, I guess if it's your team.
Yeah.
Super Bowls, though, for me, I don't know. I
He
just,
doesn't mean actually go. He just means he wants
mean,
his
like, my
team to
team
make
making
it.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
meant go and like attend the game.
No,
No.
like,
Like, I,
would just
don't really
love-
want to go
no,
attend the game.
No,
like,
I would
it
just love
seems
for my
very,
team
like,
to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. Well, you got a better shot than the Saints again. So.
Boys, the professional teams we follow on this couch. I don't see any of us reaching the pinnacle here coming up.
The Rockets, they have a shot for you guys.
Like I said, I don't see any of us reaching the pinnacle.
I think just like what you said a couple weeks ago with the being good at the same time that somebody is already good, it's kind of a tough situation
Yeah.
to be in.
Yeah.
I saw some crazy scenario. Somebody threw it out there where the Rockets traded for Booker and Giannis and gave up
Their entire
Jalen
team.
Green. It was like Jalen Green, Reed Shepard, and like 7 first-round picks or something like that to try and get all 3.
I don't understand how we've been through this enough now. How GMs will throw away their entire future to get the chance to go for one title when you're literally watching OKC. Yeah, you went through some tough times, but they built this thing from the ground up and are set up to be good for a long time.
Yeah.
When that option's available, I don't see how GMs can still convince ownership that we should throw away 10 to 12 years of good basketball to go all the chips on black to maybe go win one.
Yeah.
When there's less guarantee, and I mean, you've seen all the big teams this year with just a couple big players. None of them made it to where we are now.
I mean, I don't know much about Fertitta, but do you think he's the kind of owner that gets desperate like that?
No.
Like, do you think like he kind of understands the process? And because obviously you have some owners out there that are like that. They're like, we got to win one now.
I do think he might be wanting a star back.
Yeah.
You know, ever since we lost Harden, you've lost that star power. And when you're in a market like Houston, they want to be able to have somebody like that. So I could see him giving him the green, or saying, hey, if there's one that is attainable for us to go get, maybe go get one. But he's not going to be a guy that's like, hey, go get 2 or 3 guys. Let's tear this thing down. Let's go chase a chip. No, I don't see that
Yeah,
happening.
it's like having a 50% chance to win a title in 10 years. Would you rather that, or would you rather have 2 to 3 years at 60%? Is pretty much what you're
Correct.
giving up. And you take the 50% for a longer period of time.
because you're also just going to be good
Yeah.
for that much longer too. Even if you never win one, yeah, that stinks. But it's like, okay, I didn't have to watch bad basketball for all this time.
Yeah.
Whereas I might get 2 years with still not. I think those are probably pretty good percentages. Like not that much higher percentage.
No.
And if that one person gets hurt, then you're bad.
Yeah, then it goes down even
Worse, so-
yeah, and now you just blew it all up, and next year
Correct.
you're going to be bad.
Correct. So I would take. Yeah, I would take the 10 years
I
in
mean,
a
that's what,
heartbeat.
that's what we had with the Astros. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much every year they were in the ALCS. You have a 50% chance to win once you get there to make it to the World Series, and then that's just a crapshoot.
Yep.
We had 10 years of good baseball to watch, too. It was fun to watch. But, yeah, I don't
It's
know.
not terrible baseball right now. Just not.
Not what it
what
was.
we've been
Yeah,
watching.
exactly. It's not the dominance we were used to.
Yeah.
But staying on basketball, game one of the Knicks and Pacers,
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Unbelievable, dude.
Like that
Unbelievable.
what's the guy's name who hit the three?
Neesmith.
Neesmith. Like that's like the that's stuff we're gonna talk about for a long time. Like kids will talk about. Like what's his name? For the Rockets who scored 11 points and
Oh,
Tracy
Tracy.
Tracy
McGrady.
McGrady. Like that's things that get brought up
Yeah.
still to this day because you just remember that because it's unbelievable. What that guy did down the stretch was crazy.
Yeah, 5 threes in the last 4 minutes, 6 in the last 5. Unbelievable scorched earth. And then he does that, which is an all-time performance that you remember. And then Halliburton's a toe away from having just immortality.
And then the unbelievable
of a
bounce.
And that's what I was gonna say. The bounce,
Bounce
like
is
you're
crazy.
just like holding your breath. Like no
But
way.
that
And just hits
that
off
would
the
live
back of
in
the rim.
Pacers lore forever. If that, I mean, the game is it's still an unbelievable shot. But if that would have been a game winner to then do the choke immediately
yeah.
afterwards in front of Reggie,
Yeah.
oh, that would have lived
In
on
Madison Square
forever
Garden.
in the
Yeah.
Garden.
Yeah.
I mean, still, and then we got 5 more minutes of good basketball
Yeah.
afterwards. So it was a win-win.
Just trading
But
blows. Yeah,
oh
it was-
man,
yeah.
that would have instantly became an all-time playoff shot, like
Oh,
in
yeah.
history. If
Yeah.
to do that in the Garden, I mean, the Pacers essentially just out-nicked the Knicks. The Knicks
Yeah.
did that to Boston
Yep.
twice in the
Twice,
last series,
Yeah.
and they just got happened to them now. But yeah, been a great series. Both games have been close, but game one. I heard this said, and it was like, if that would have been a game 7 to happen like that, you're talking about one of the greatest games ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But so happening in game 1 just sets you up. Some people be like, oh, it's, now the rest of the series is going to be a letdown. Like, no, you can't look at it like that. You can't expect all of them to be that way, but
No.
great start.
I mean, at least from what we've seen, I mean, it's going to be a dogfight all the way through.
Well, we'll mention it on the way here. Like, there's a chance Indianapolis sweeps. Like, if all
Yeah,
in
that would
close
be
games,
crazy, yeah.
all in close games, like
Yeah.
that could happen.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
It felt on paper coming into it, it's like this game has to go 6 or 7. The way they match up, the way they play, this game's going 6 or 7. And that's when I told Lucas, I was like, yeah, but in the next breath, we're gonna in 5 or 6 more days, we're gonna be looking back and Indy wins in 4 or 5.
Yeah.
All good games, but you feel like you
Biggest
got
win,
robbed
yeah.
because it was built up to be a 6 or 7 game wonderful playoff series, and you feel like you get robbed if they win it in 4 or 5, even if all 4 or 5 games are close games in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, but which both of these have been. And
Yeah. That would be a Knicks move for sure.
Yeah.
it would
And it would be the NBA's nightmare
Oh, yeah.
having a Indy OKC final. Or even Minnesota.
like so many small markets, like they are
They need the Knicks.
dying for this thing to go to the Garden. And if it was the Wolves, then the Garden would have the home would be
Oh, for
would get the
record.
home. Now, if OKC, it would start in OKC,
Of
but
course.
oh, they are dreaming of
A comeback.
game 1 in the Garden.
Oh yeah.
So like they're rooting for the Wolves too.
yeah.
'Cause I remember, was it 3 years ago? It was the Bucks and Suns. And that was like one of the worst rated NBA finals ever.
I
Just
mean,
because
not
it's just such
surprising.
small markets.
Not surprising.
Oh, I told Lucas just in the Western Conference Finals, the game 1 viewership was down 24% from last year, and the
4%.
And the Wolves were in it last year.
Yeah.
And it was the Mavericks, who aren't the biggest market team, but they had the biggest international star on their team. So just that went down that much. So, but I already told the NBA to take a hike, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me.
I usually pop that thing on if it's a close game in the fourth quarter. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't watch from tip off or anything. Like, there's just too much stuff that happens in the middle. You just want to watch the end. I do.
Well, it looks like OKC took a break, game 3.
Yeah.
Wanted to rest for a day or something.
Yeah,
What was it, 42 points?
a
Ended up losing
lot.
by or
Like,
something?
it was a whole lot.
I saw like a behind the scenes or some video of SGA on the bench, like talking about like why they were down so much so early. He's like, yeah, they're just out hustling us and they're making shots and we're not. Like, no kidding, dude. No kidding.
great analysis.
Turns out if you make shots, you keep it close. Like if you miss them, you don't. You know, like
You can't score less than the other team and
Yeah.
think you're going to win.
I was like, that's some riveting stuff there. But
That's becoming kind of a theme in basketball now. When reporters ask these questions that
Yeah.
they have to ask, but like teams will be a really good rebounding team and they'll get out rebounded, and they'll ask the player, "Hey, how were they able to get? How were they able to out rebound y'all with the size advantage and whatever else?" And the guys would be like, "Well, you see, a rebound is when you catch a missed shot,
yeah.
and they caught more of those than we did."
But how?
That's not what they're asking, man.
But that's just like in baseball, like the in-game interviews, like same thing after a college football game. Like they're talking to the coach, like, "How do you feel about the win?" Like, I feel happy about the win.
Yeah.
It was nice that we won. We scored more points. It was great. Like, what do you expect? Like they ask the same questions
what do
every
you
time.
wanna- yeah.
Every
it's
single time.
What are we doing here?
That's
But
when they did
it's-
the montage of like all of Popovich's top interviews. Like that was just great. Like he's just like a smart ass the entire time.
Yeah, because the questions are pointless.
Yes. Like,
But it's become a thing that they have to do after games, just for I don't even know, just to get quotes for stories. I guess I don't even know. But yeah, it's
get some real headliners.
crazy. Yeah, just absolutely like obvious stuff. Like, oh yeah, we won the line of scrimmage today. That's why. Like,
Yeah.
No kidding. Like,
Oh, did you?
yeah, just nuts.
Speaking of bad, dude, let's check in on the Rockies. How the Rockies doing in baseball nowadays?
So this is our third week checking into this. They are winning one game a week.
They're on a roll.
That's
yep.
so bad.
They won one game this week.
Beat
One
the
game over the Yankees, I think,
Yep,
right?
Took one. Had first and second with one out today, down one. Couldn't get it. Couldn't pull it out.
in the ninth. Yeah, they're
So they are currently 9-44.
That is unbelievable.
So they are currently. So this is May 25th. They are 23 and a half games out of first place. They are 17 games out of fourth place right now.
17 out of fourth.
well. They're also in arguably the toughest
Yeah,
division in
for
baseball.
sure. But still, in May to be 17 games out of the second worst team in your division.
How far are they out in the wild card?
Oh.
Like they're probably 15 games
It's,
out of the wild card.
And their run differential is minus 171 now. So
That hasn't gone down quite as fast as we were
Yeah.
thinking.
They are currently 21 games out of the wild card spot.
That's crazy.
21 games out of the wild card.
It's not even June, guys. That is crazy.
I feel like they haven't even played 21 games.
They're 9.5 out of the second to last spot in the National League currently.
They're 9.5 games worse than the second worst team in the
Then
National
the Pirates, yeah.
That's the Pirates, yeah. That is
So I saw a stat yesterday, a couple days ago, that they're currently on pace to finish 53 games behind the fourth place team, which would be like the largest.
I've never
games
seen
back.
50.
Like they're on track to be 75 games out of first place and 53 games out of fourth place by the end of the season currently.
and that a lot of that
my
depends on how many
goodness.
wins the Dodgers rack up.
Yep.
Which
And then right now the Diamondbacks are in fourth place. So
because we were talking about that on the way here too, that sneakily the Tigers have the best record by percentage points the Phillies have the best record, but They have the same amount of wins. They're both at 34 wins. The Tigers are really good.
Yeah, no, they're rolling.
Turns out their head coach is pretty decent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine
he
that.
doesn't maybe the cheat, maybe there was some coaching. It wasn't just all the cheating scandal crap.
It's crazy, man.
Scooball today, did y'all see him?
No, I didn't.
His first complete game shutout, 13 Ks, no walks, 2 hits, 94 pitches. The 94th pitch was 102 point something miles an hour.
The fastest of his career.
That dude's electric, man. He's so good.
He's pretty good.
So good. And the fact that he stayed with the Tigers too,
Yeah.
and he hasn't. Well, I mean, I don't know what his contract situation is currently, but
It's
he
about
just
to-
recently signed an extension, I think, didn't he?
I have no idea, but it's about to get a lot better. If he
I
hasn't,
want to say that he.
it's about to get a lot better if he hasn't. That dude is unbelievable.
Very,
I mean,
very
I mean,
Also, he's actually still under arbitration.
so he's about to win his second Cy Young because I mean, at the pace that he's going, he's gonna
So
run away with it.
he's on a roll for that, and he is currently under a 1-year contract for $10.15 million.
Dang.
So he's at the tail end of his arbitration. Then
He
might
should be
have
getting pretty close.
probably
yeah.
one more year, 2
Yeah.
more years maybe.
He'll become a free agent after next season, after
Oh.
2026.
You're talking 300 mil. Because he's
Easy.
what 27? 20. He'll be 29 when he's a free agent. Then I
Yeah.
think.
So he could potentially sign a contract worth over $400 million.
I would say I would think.
Jim Crane's not doing that.
I mean, yeah, but at what point?
Oh, I wouldn't want him to.
Well, no.
So he's
But, like-
28 right now. So he'll be
30.
29 at the end of
Yeah.
at the end of next season.
Okay.
Like he'll turn 30 during like
his
2026.
during that first season.
Yeah.
But when you just saw what like Blake Snell and Freed get, his asking price is going to be.
For sure.
But you're limited to those same teams that sign those other guys because that's the only markets that can afford it.
Agreed. Agreed.
Like Detroit can't fork that out.
Absolutely not.
They'll try.
I mean,
but,
they can, but then
The rest
it's
of your
going to
team
limit
is-
them the rest of the team. Yeah.
but at some point, the Yankees, Dodgers, and Mets can't keep forking this out either. Like they can't have $2 billion tied up in 3 players. Like that's
I mean, why not? They've already paid off Otani's contract, so
They have.
I mean,
Dodgers,
like
the
right
Dodgers
now,
definitely could.
I mean, I just saw that the Dodgers are planning on being in on Kyle Tucker after this season. Like, and he's going to get $500 to $600 million.
yeah.
Kyle Tucker's going to be a New York Yankee.
I-
They're going to.
I could see him being in Boston too.
I can see him being in New York too, especially after they got hosed with Soto.
Oh, I think it's that, and then like you got Bellinger there as a 1-year rental.
Yeah.
Are you going to re-sign Bellinger, and
Get a younger Tucker.
or get younger Tucker who's more consistent?
Yeah.
Now you could probably sign Bellinger for about $200 million or $150 million less than you can sign
Yeah.
Tucker, but yeah, I think New York will try to flex muscle.
I think so too.
Dude, speaking of the Yankees, did y'all see the first game when Soto was back? I guess we missed this last week.
I did.
Where they
I
turned
think it was
their,
early in the week.
Oh, it was
No.
during the rivalry weekend.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Where they all turned their back on him
Yeah.
while he was in right field.
I did see that.
Juan Soto was a New York Yankee for 15 minutes. They need to get over their crap.
Literally 1 year he was there. And
Yankees, man.
definitely one of the worst fan bases by
Yeah.
far. Like, he's just stupid.
I want every single person that turned their back to say if you had a 15-year, $765 million contract put on your lap, you wouldn't sign it immediately.
But didn't the Yankees offer him like almost the same contract?
It was
I
close.
think that was the thing.
They did. It was a clubhouse thing, is what they said.
Yeah, I think the Yankees and the Mets, like, their offers were pretty much identical. Maybe a little bit different, but that's why the Yankees were pissed off about it.
I think the Yankees even offered him like slightly more,
Maybe.
and it was like,
No.
but it was something with the clubhouse. I remember reading about it. Like he didn't mesh with like Judge and like the other guys or something, so he wanted to get out.
Yeah.
So he went right down the road.
Stayed New York.
Yeah.
Man, tough.
Yeah.
Real tough to make $60 million a year to play baseball.
It's like
Oh.
the Woody Harrelson where he's like rubbing in his tears with the wads of money.
Yeah.
oh no, the fans turn their back on me. How will I ever recover from this?
Exactly. But again, that just shows you too, like, okay, I made the right decision.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not something where he's like, oh man, like I wish I had stayed in New York now. It's like, God, like the way y'all are treating me right now, like this just shows like I made a good decision getting out of here.
Again, if the Mets fans tomorrow started turning their back on him, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of money he's making, who really cares?
No. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I mean, yeah, it's a baseball contract, dude. It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do.
Sit me on the bench. I don't care. Yeah, I'm getting my money.
Exactly.
Literally. Yeah, that's insanity. I saw something, speaking of big contract, I did see something where SGA, like, with all of his winnings, I guess winning the MVP, I think they said his contract is $72 a year. He can make up to $72 million a year or something crazy like that.
Oh, on his next extension?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because he'll be all NBA as well.
That is-
with the MVP.
Somebody
so,
just got 70, didn't they?
Probably
no,
LeBron. No, LeBron would.
Tatum has the highest value, I think, right now. He signed his may not be the most per year, but it's the highest overall value. He signed that last offseason. I'm sure there's some guys available for the Supermax this offseason that could reset the market again.
Yeah, so he got 315 over 5 years.
Or any of these young guys that can sign their first rookie extension with that elevator, if they make an All-NBA team, can make some crazy amount of money.
Yeah, so he's getting 63 mil a year right now.
Shea is?
No, Tatum.
Tatum, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, basketball contracts are nuts.
They're absolutely crazy.
Like, people always talk about the baseball money. It's like there's a lot of money given out in baseball, but when you go look at the per year amount, basketball is, you can't compare it.
No.
And basketball, you can only sign for 5 years. So like, yeah, these baseball guys are signing for $350 million over 10 to 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, you're signing for $350 for 5 years of basketball to play 82 games plus the playoffs. I know it's more intense, but baseball, you got 162 of them suckers. That's a lot of time.
Well, and also in baseball, you're paying 26 players. In NBA, you're paying 12.
Yeah.
Like that's the big difference. Plus, like in baseball, I mean, they got to pay their entire farm system. Like they got to pay.
Well,
I mean, they're not getting paid
they're
much.
not getting paid much money.
But if you look at just like the like over like how many players are in the system, like it's an insane amount of people.
For sure. Staying on baseball, a little college baseball. The host sites were announced today. So there's 16 host sites. 8 of the 16 were SEC teams, so half the field.
Which was expected.
It was expected for sure.
How many of them got top 8s?
So
Or is seeding tomorrow?
I guess seeding's tomorrow, but Georgia's hosting, Auburn's hosting, Texas, LSU, North Carolina, Clemson, Coastal Carolina's getting a host, which is good.
Really?
Good for them, yeah. I'm about to get to it as well, but Oregon State is hosting. Oregon, Arkansas, Tennessee, UCLA, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Florida State, and Southern Miss.
They did give him one.
So
They did.
the
give him
Sun
one.
Belt is
Two
host.
Sun Belt teams.
Sun Belt has 2 hosts this year.
Southern Miss has been on an absolute tear, though.
Oh yeah, Southern
I mean-
Miss has been good for years, but that's crazy. The Sun Belt getting 2.
Haven't they won like how many games in a row have they won?
Coastal?
No. Southern Miss.
Oh, I don't know. Did
They've
it-
been on a crazy win streak.
I'm sure.
Crazy win streak.
I have no idea, but that's pretty good for the Sun Belt, man. That's
Absolutely.
Wish they could have done that 3 years ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
Texas State deserves one that year for sure. But I mean, they're tied with the Big Ten, who's Oregon and UCLA. So a traditional Big Ten team didn't even make it to the field.
No.
There's a Pac-10 or Pac-12 team.
Pac-12 teams.
And Oregon State was an independent, so they host as well. So technically, you have
Three
three
Pac-
Pac-12 teams.
And then the rest were ACCs, ACC schools.
So Southern,
ACC has 3.
Southern Miss was on an 18-game losing streak before they lost to Coastal Carolina in the championship.
Winning streak.
Yeah,
18 wins.
18 games.
18
and they
straight.
Coastal
and
ended
then
up
they
winning the
lost
Sun Belt.
7-5 to Coastal.
Yeah.
That's 18 games is crazy in baseball.
Yeah, especially conference games, right? It's not just like midweek,
Yes.
early in the season, because you see that quite a bit on some of the big teams. They'll sweep their non-conference. I think LSU had one loss to like Omaha, and they won every other game.
Yeah.
But 18 conference games is
So that's
and the tournament.
so that they probably swept their last three series, if not four,
Yeah,
Yeah, so
plus midweeks and
swept Troy,
conference.
who was playing really well.
Troy was a very good team. coming in.
Louisiana, Arkansas State, Appalachian State, and then
I don't think Texas State played them this year.
They played them in the tournament. and
Yeah,
lost 9-1. But
yeah.
yeah, they didn't play in the regular season.
Yeah.
Not that it mattered.
No.
Impressive. I mean, glad that they recognize that and are actually rewarding teams that deserve it,
Yeah.
and not just giving it to another big conference school.
Yeah. But 2 host sites for the Sun Belt's huge for them.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
crazy.
See, and that's kind of goes back to my argument. Like, does it really benefit Texas State leaving and going to the Pac-12? I mean,
In other
it just-
sports, it does.
Yeah, and so I guess if you look at the overall spectrum, yeah, but
Coastal Carolina and Southern Miss football aren't very good,
true.
and that's where the money's at.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
The money's not in college baseball, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But tomorrow they'll announce I guess all the host sites or the field, the rest of the field.
64.
Yeah, field of 64. And what's going to be interesting is who gets top 8.
yeah.
I mean, they go by RPI, all kind of stuff. I don't know who ended up winning the SEC today.
Vanderbilt won.
Vanderbilt
They
beat Ole Miss, yeah. Yeah, Vanderbilt played really well down the stretch. They smoked Tennessee.
I was like Tennessee
Run
was playing
rolling, right?
really
Yeah,
well.
10-0.
Yeah, Tennessee was playing well up to that point too, so that was good for them to turn around.
Who?
Tennessee, weren't they playing pretty good?
Not really.
Oh, really? Oh,
Ev-
They've been
honestly,
struggling.
just so I can get my one good thing. Ever since the A&M series, they kind of
They dropped quite a few series in a row.
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah, that's why
'Cause
it was,
they were
it was
at
kind of
number
surprising
one.
they were hosting. There were talks that they were going to jump in a 2 seed and hop somewhere
Yeah.
and have to go somewhere, but they got a host site,
Yeah. Huh.
which is actually kind of surprising.
Probably because they won the Natty last year, so
Yeah,
probably plays into it a little bit.
for sure. But yeah, it's
And
really-
like we've talked about too, just everybody in the SEC's RPI is going to be better because they're playing in the SEC.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
You think SC gets 4 of those 8?
I think.
LSU and Texas are locks.
Well, I've seen some projections that LSU's not, which is
really?
crazy.
LSU and Texas are locks.
I think so,
Absolute
too.
locks.
LSU had 20 wins in the SEC
I think
this year.
there's a crazy argument that those should be the top 2 seeds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't disagree with that.
I mean, LSU's was ranked number 1 in the polls for the last 2
Yeah.
weeks, and for
Y'all made it to the
semifinal.
semifinal
Yeah.
and the toughest conference in baseball.
But see, that's the thing though. Like LSU, I'm pretty sure LSU's idea about the tournament, like they didn't really care that much.
Yeah, they didn't
Um,
have to.
They wanted to win one game, and that was against Texas, especially once it was A&M. Like no shade, they wanted A&M out of the field. Like
Yeah.
nobody like LSU didn't want to have to face A&M in a super regional. Because A&M's still a problem. Like, they can still be a
Oh, for
problem.
sure.
And you saw that in the game against LSU. It ended up being a 4-3 game. LSU had 4 hits.
Yeah.
And that was A&M's 3rd starter.
Yeah, y'all starter mowed us down.
Oh, yeah. He had
13 Ks in 6 innings. 5
Yeah,
innings.
he K'd 8 of the first 9 batters he
Yeah.
faced.
Yeah.
It was pretty silly, but
Jace breaking his hand. I know he played, but
yeah.
that
I mean, he still had 2 RBIs.
I don't know what type of surgery he had to have.
I'll say, how did he even play? Like,
He pretty much was swinging top hand only.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because it was a knuckle, it was fracture and dislocation.
Yeah. But yeah, so LSU wanted to, 1, knock A&M out of the field. Like, they don't want to mess around with that. And then 2, they thought that if they won one game, that secures a top 8 seed. That's why Anthony Ianson came in after, our number 2 starter came in after Cade Anderson. So we pretty much threw that out of the water with yesterday's game against Ole Miss. Like, our second starter didn't start that game. We just went to like a bullpen day.
So I was wondering if Texas is kind of the same way because
I mean,
Texas threw a guy that like barely pitched this year.
yeah, because it doesn't matter.
And he had a no-hitter going into the 5th inning,
Yeah.
which was crazy.
For Texas, it doesn't matter for sure.
Yeah.
Texas 100% has the top 8 seed locked up. Like, no doubt about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we might have a blowout in this one.
we have a blowout. It's 20 points with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter.
I don't know. Knicks are
We're
down
setting
the
up
Yeah,
for a patented Knicks comeback.
There
Is
you
what
go.
we're setting up for.
that's right.
Adam Silver's making calls right now and say, "Y'all stop this now."
The Buffalo Wild Wing button.
Yeah,
Those are great commercials, man. I don't know why they stopped doing that.
the sprinkler tripping the kicker.
Yeah.
Run them back.
We need to hit overtime. We need to keep eating and drinking. But speaking of sprinklers and kickers, let's talk a little football in May, man.
You talk NCAA?
Whatever.
Well, I was gonna say,
Let's start with the NFL and we'll end
we
on
can
the
touch
high.
on the NFL right now.
Yeah, we'll end
so
on
this
the
was
high.
my runner-up for taking a hike. Is this whole tush push argument? Like, there's so many owners that are against a tush push, and I don't understand it. Like, if it's a play within the game, like if you can't stop the play, like that's your problem. Like your solution to a play that you're unable to stop shouldn't be to ban it from the league. It should be to find a way to stop it from happening. And the vote ended up being 22-10 to ban it,
Yep.
and they needed 24 votes. So they were 2 votes away. Like I don't understand.
The Cowboys voted against it.
Yeah.
I think the Texans did too.
Yeah, a lot. The whole NFC East voted against it.
I mean, obviously, like I mean, if I'm Jerry Jones,
except Philly,
Yeah. That's going to get immediately tabled again next year.
for sure.
And there's going to be some hardcore recruiting to get those last two
it was
votes.
up. It was up last year. Got shut down. Came up this year.
It never came to a vote last year.
Yeah,
though,
like
right?
it'll just keep coming up.
It'll keep coming up. And like someone's gonna be,
Just don't get-
offering some stuff to get those next 2 votes.
Don't get to 3rd and 1, dude.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's
really,
what-
like anytime it gets to 1 yard, like
But
Don't get to the 1 yard line. Don't let them get to the 1 yard
the
line.
argument for the people that are okay with banning is like, well, you could get the same thing done with just doing a basic QB sneak. I'm like, obviously not. And if you have a play that's almost guaranteed, why not run it? And if you can't, and everybody's like, well, it's only the Eagles that can do it. No, everybody can do it.
The Bills, didn't Josh Allen do it quite a bit?
Didn't work that good though.
No.
That's like the only team that does it to a success rate
Is the Eagles.
is the Eagles.
Because their offensive line is crazy.
When you also have a quarterback that squats like 700 pounds.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like that helps. So I mean,
that might help a bit.
yeah, they're always worried about the guy pushing him. Like no, Jalen Hurts has immediate, unbelievable leg strength, and that does take that to do this. And you have to have linemen willing to do it. You just have to have everybody bought in.
And a running back to push.
Yeah.
that also squats 700 pounds.
Yeah. That's a valid point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
But I mean, like, this is the new trend though. And this goes like for a lot of things. It's like we don't like something, we don't want something.
Let's ban it.
Like let's just get rid of it. Like, I mean, there are some things like you could probably look at, like when they tried the review of the pass interference, like it was worth a shot because like those were getting botched so often, but then you see immediately like the officials are screwing that up, and they're not going to want to get proven wrong, so they find a way to get around that anyway. That's why it went away after a year.
I mentioned. I don't remember what podcast number it was, but I mentioned like the whole record of that.
Yeah.
So obviously that rule went in effect after the NOLA no call,
Mm-hmm.
and Sean Payton was a huge proponent of it. So not a single pass interference got overturned that entire season,
Yeah.
except one.
Yeah, I think one.
And it was offensive pass interference against the Saints. Like, they literally did it just to piss Sean Payton off. Because how often do you see OPI called?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And
very
so
rarely.
it happened one time, and it was Sean Payton on OPI. Not even defensive pass
Yeah.
interference. Just to shove.
Just one more middle
just
finger.
Yep, just to Sean Payton. It's crazy. But again, anytime you're talking about subjective stuff like that, like you're obviously not going to let the refs are not going to be like, yeah, I want to make myself look like a fool. Same thing in like baseball. That's why I don't know. I don't know if the K zone thing's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Just because the umpires have a union. Like they're not going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I think we should be less compensated and
Lose all of our jobs.
lose our jobs. That's a good idea. Like that's why I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No.
To be honest. If they, I mean I don't know when their CBA is up or if there's like a contract on umpires. I'm sure there is, but like you pretty much have to have it's like a politician saying, you know what, I'm going to take a pay cut.
Yeah.
Let's end term limits for Congress, or let's make term limits.
Yeah.
Like they're never going to do that
No,
because
I
then
agree.
they're going to have they're
'Cause
cutting
they're
on
the
their
ones
own.
losing out. Yeah.
Absolutely,
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
but
The Lions were also gonna put to vote to change the seating, but that got
Well,
that got-
they actually withdrew it.
yeah, they withdrew it exactly.
Which that I don't disagree with. I mean, the fact that, which I know they lost, but the fact that the Vikings were 14-3 and were the number 5 seed, I mean that's just insane. And then who was the 4 seed that they went? Was it 9-8 or?
Yeah, there's almost always nowadays a team that sneaks in at barely over 500.
because their division is awful.
Because, yeah, the
it's a
division's
bad
awful.
division.
It's probably the Bucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the Bucks they
Yeah.
went 9-8 or 10-7, 10-7. I don't remember, but yeah, you had the second best record, and again, it comes down to the last game of the season. Like the Lions and Vikings are playing. It's not just playing to win your division; it's playing to not have to play in the wild card game. Like
Yeah.
that's what's insane. Like
not playing in the Walker game,
Yeah.
and going on the road.
like
Yeah,
that
Because
game,
you don't host either.
exactly. Like that game should have meant nothing.
Yeah.
Like it should have been 1 and 2 seeds. Like already. Like,
So why did they withdraw it?
They didn't have the votes. That's my like
yeah, they
you-
probably asked around and they probably didn't have enough to change.
to even make it
so.
like if they're gonna put some to vote and they goes 0-32 or 1-31, that's not a good look. So they just withdrew it. But and that's why, because you're gonna have these small market teams or these teams in these divisions that would
Get
be
to host.
worried about
Not getting to
not
host
not
the
getting
playoff
in or
game.
not or just not even getting in.
Oh, is that what they wanted? They wanted just to not even get in.
No.
Like it should just go by record, right?
That's what I'm saying. So like some of these
like the
teams
division. The division winner should still get in. I just think they should get in and be the last seed. They should just go by record.
well, I'm not sure how it was stated in what they were going to propose, but if you're going to straight seeding based off a record, then you could easily win a division and not get in.
Yeah, because I mean, if you go 9
No,
and
no,
8,
no, 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 no. Not so. Keep the playoff teams exactly how it is, but the seeding is now by record. If you win your division, like all 4 division winners, 2 wild cards, all
Yeah.
6 teams, stack up all 6 of those records and play it as it is.
So if we
3
get
wild card.
if
3, sorry.
Yeah.
if you get to a point where a team wins a division at 8-9, you're going to leave a team that's 9-8 out
Yes.
just because they didn't win their division.
Yes, because there's so much. There's every year, and I guess every 5 years, 10 years, like divisions change, like how difficult it is, like every year. Like there were years where the Falcons and Saints and Bucks were all really good. Now you're like, oh god, that division's absolutely ass. Same thing with the NFC East. The NFC East has been down before.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The NFC North. How long has it been since they like? There were times where that division. I mean, the Lions were
literally
god awful. The Bears are the Bears.
Well, I was gonna say like forever it was the Packers and then
Everybody else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Same thing in the AFC East.
Yeah.
It was the Patriots
The
and
Patriots and then
Oh
They were
god,
like
that was
real
even worse.
bad
Yeah.
division.
Even
bad,
worse.
bad division.
Yeah. And then you talk about it, and then you're like, oh well. At that time, even with the AFC South
Bad division.
right now,
No. The course of its-
The Colts had
Well, they had Peyton. That's true.
Yeah, when the Colts were really good, the Titans had some decent years. The Texans were
I was
just
gonna
kind of
say-
stuck in
I
it.
was gonna say the AFC South the last few years have been that way. Like
Yeah.
it's just. I mean that's the way I would say is like the 4 division winners still get in.
Yeah,
Like you still won your division, but then you seed it based on But if
Yes.
so if you have the worst record of the 7 teams, you're the 7 seed. You're playing the 2 seed. first
exactly.
up- right
That's
off
how
the
it
bat.
should be. It's kind of the same. I guess it's the same thing. We'll touch on it with college football. What the college football ended up doing with the seeding
Yeah.
differences, because having the top 4 conference champions up at the top, like that's dumb.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
big difference about finishing second in the SEC and finishing first in the ACC or the Pac-12.
100%.
Or I guess that's not a thing.
When the NBA at least fixed theirs, because
Yeah.
they originally had it where the 3 division winners got the top
Top three,
three seeds,
yeah.
It's just terrible.
and they
It was
finally
so bad.
they finally changed that to where it's just the top 8 seeds.
Yeah.
So, which it usually plays itself out.
It does.
pretty much the same way.
But the difference between getting a first round bye and having to go play on the road in the first playoff game in the NFL is like
After
It's a
you've
huge difference.
busted your butt all season to win 14 games,
Yeah.
and your reward was that
To go on the road.
to go
Yeah.
on the road.
yeah.
You played 17 games
Yeah.
just for that.
I mean, again, I pay attention to the Saints, or I used to more than anything. I mean, that's when Marshawn Lynch had that crazy run against the Saints. That's exactly what happened there. The Saints were the best team in the NFC, had to go up to freaking Seattle, and then that happens,
Yeah, and they lose.
and they lost. And I think Seattle was 7-9 at the time,
Yeah,
and they won their division.
yeah.
It was just awful division. But again, you shouldn't lose to that team. But playoffs and
Put the team on his back though.
he did. That was crazy. run.
Literally.
Yeah. That was so disheartening because I actually cared about the NFL back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
Was that the year after they won the Super Bowl?
Either the year after the follow, like maybe
Yeah.
2 years after, but yeah, it was tough.
Crazy, but.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the NFL, sadder note, Jim Irsay
Yeah.
passing away, 65 years old. Which, if you looked at him, I would have thought he was like 85.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize, dude. I was reading the stories about him. They actually said there's been 3 other instances where he's like been revived,
Oh,
like
wow.
from overdoses.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, like he's dealt with drug problems.
Is that
for
what it ended up
years.
being? I thought it was
I haven't
cancer.
seen the
It hasn't-
official.
it hasn't come
but
out.
That,
No. I
thought he had
that's kind of
cancer.
no, like that,
No.
like that's kind of like the consensus is.
Oh, no
it was
kidding.
probably a drug overdose.
No kidding.
But yeah, he's dealt with drug problems for years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
But he's
rough.
been a very involved owner.
Oh,
in,
absolutely.
in the league and everything. So, Indy's in an interesting time, franchise-wise. So it'll be
I think his daughters are taking over.
And I read a story about that. He made all of them like co-owners years ago and made sure that they were very involved in. And each one is involved in a different aspect of the team. So like they could. One of them's a little more involved in the day-to-days, so she might be the new face, if you will, but they're
Yeah.
all involved in some aspect.
Yeah.
He made it a point to make sure it stayed in the family, and people were all ready to take it over, maybe because he knew he had
Yeah, I was gonna say
personal internal struggles with stuff.
Yeah, if he got revived once, twice, like I'm sure he's like, yeah, I gotta get this sorted.
yeah,
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah. Sad, but it's a new era now in Indianapolis. So
Yep. See where it goes from here. So,
yeah, and he only has daughters, so it's another female owner in the NFL. There's not a whole lot of those, so
Gail Benson's not doing too hot.
it's her, and then
Detroit.
the Fords. Are the Bears still technically?
I have no idea.
I think so.
The
yeah.
Packers are 50% female owned.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of female owners on the Packers. Just go buy a share.
50% probably.
buy a share, but-
Split it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of taking ownership of different parts of the team, y'all seen the latest with old Belichick and his girl? There was like a rumor at one point that they like banned
Kicked her
her
out.
completely from being on campus,
I
and
saw that.
they said it wasn't true, but they, dude, it's a nightmare. Like they're like Barstool was like, there's a legitimate chance that like Bill Belichick is not the head coach week 1 in North Carolina.
So there's his buyout. It's his first year as his coach. Remember this. His buyout is like 10-something million until June 1st. After June 1st, it drops to 1.
Yeah.
So he
So
may say,
that-
you
there
know
was
what?
there was a
Yeah.
there was something happening. They knew that it wasn't a long term thing. Then you mean June 1st, like in like a week?
in
like
like
in
6
this
7
weekend,
days.
yeah.
As in June, the moment the clock strikes midnight, it's a $1 million buyout.
Yeah.
I wonder a lot
And
of that.
what is
was-
the point of doing that?
Well, I think a lot of it is. I wonder if they took, or like he was saying, in consideration, like if an NFL job was open, and he ended up taking that. So it's
Man.
like we'll make it a hefty buyout if you try to take a job early, whereas you're less likely to take one
Because all of
after
them are filled.
June. Yeah.
That's true.
Or
Yeah.
maybe they just knew his personal life was going to take the most unexpected swing we've ever
I was
seen.
gonna say I don't think they saw this
The
coming.
foresight of that contract, whoever drew that up, they need a raise if they had the foresight of that, man. That's unbelievable.
God, dude.
Well, the latest rumors, they might be engaged. As of this week, it hasn't ever been officially put anywhere, but I think she had put something on some social media
I
about
think I
them
saw
possibly
that
being
too.
engaged.
I think I saw that.
I don't think it was ever confirmed though.
So it says she wore a ring at the airport, which fueled
Okay.
speculation and
Speculation.
rumors.
What finger was that ring on? Come on. now.
How big was the ring?
Yeah, that's a bigger question. Yeah, that's crazy. But no, touched on it a little bit a second ago too, since we were a little college football action there. Seating changed for the playoff format, which I mean was obviously needed.
Oh yeah.
But we'll probably get 1 year of it, and then playoff expands.
16.
I mean, it's going to go to 16, so it's not going to really matter anyway.
I'm glad that
But it needed to happen.
I'm glad they came together and were like, hey, this, even if it's only for 1 year, if we knew we are gonna have more changes, we got to fix this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't get stubborn with it. I was, oh, well, we're gonna have all these changes again next year.
For sure.
We'll just keep it. But no,
Yeah.
like anything, you roll something out, you're gonna have bugs. You got to fix the bugs. This was a very, very, very
Especially when all 4 top seeds got bounced in their
Yeah.
first game. Like that was a big indication right
the
there.
buys did nothing,
Yeah.
and the only one that gave really up any fight was Arizona State.
Yeah. Yeah, that needed to happen for sure, which, again, it's good for the sport.
Yeah, and then if you go look at I know we talked about it during the season, but it's been a while, so like the refresher of the picture I saw of what the matchups would have been.
Electric.
Yeah,
Electric.
And we probably don't get Notre Dame, Ohio State. I don't think
No.
it doesn't play out the same way.
It absolutely
it
doesn't
doesn't play out the same way at all.
Absolutely
so
does not.
Your final product looks much different now. Is that a good or bad thing? I don't know. You have to see how it would have played out, but I don't think we get the same matchups. The matchup in the
I
final.
think it would have been tough for Ohio State to lose regardless. But,
No,
but the
he-
matchups throughout would have been a lot better.
And they would have got the first round bye,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe. But they were
No,
top,
yeah,
they were
they
top
would've,
4.
yeah.
No,
Oh, they weren't.
Ohio
they
State.
weren't?
No, Ohio State was.
Oh, they were like the
sixth-
8 seed or
six-
something. They were 7 or 8.
6 or 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. So.
because the inexcusable loss to Michigan.
God, dude,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I don't know how you forget about that, but man, like that.
Little weekly debate. I think we touched on it a little bit earlier. I don't know how much of a debate there's going to be, but The Athletic came out with their top 25 college football programs since 2000. So, was that a quarter century?
25 years.
Yeah. So, little weird. I mean, I can't stand Alabama, but shocker, Alabama was not number 1 on their list. So, Ohio State was 1, Alabama 2, OU 3, Georgia 4, LSU 5, and then Clemson, Oregon, USC, Texas, and Florida round out the top 10. Just egregious not having Alabama number 1 after that run that Nick Saban went on. Like even if at the beginning of the quarter century they weren't very good, like what they did in that period of time is we probably will never see that ever again.
I agree with that statement.
Oh, for
Especially with the
sure.
parity with NIL and transfer portal, like we're never seeing that again, which
Yeah.
is
I
unbelievable.
was
how
gonna say,
they could put-
regardless of like when it started, the fact that it was like that stretch of the last 25 years,
yeah.
where they just absolutely. Sorry, we're just watching the halftime show of the NBA playoffs.
It's always good.
People are great, man.
Yeah. But I did see underneath the tweet, someone said the writer was from Ohio, which would make sense. But Ohio State had what, two natties in that time frame?
3.
Was it 3?
Didn't they win one early 2000s?
They won one against Miami, yes.
And then in the Urban Meyer year,
Urban Meyer won one.
they won
That's right.
one, and then they would have probably won a second one, but they had the ban that year.
Yeah.
But they went 12-0,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's when they
pro-
ran through everybody.
would
you
have
know?
had to run into Alabama in a championship game.
So
but
three titles in
Yeah.
25 years.
Yeah.
Compared to Bama's what? 5?
7.
Was it
Yeah,
6?
7.
Was it 7?
Well, see,
Saban has
Saban
7.
has 7, so 6 of
6,
them.
yeah, he had
One
one at
LSU.
LSU.
Well, yeah.
Now you could argue that Ohio State football has been good for all 25 years, but to your point, the peak of Alabama. You can't fault them for the first 5 or 6 years of the 2000s for what they
No.
did for the next 15 years.
Yeah, it's unmatched. And then Oklahoma at 3 is a little suspect too. They had one title in that year.
I think a lot
They
of
beat up a bad Big 12.
a bad
forever.
Big 12, exactly.
Forever.
And I'm pretty sure the whole algorithm of this is like win losses and
That's-
conference championships. Obviously, they won a ton of conference championships because Texas was down for most of that 25 years, which is why they're at 9. But I mean, they did have a title in there,
yeah,
Again,
But-
early 2000s?
2005.
5. Yeah.
And then they did make the playoff almost every year and got smacked every single time.
Well, they made the playoff only twice.
I thought it was more than that. It was only
I think
twice?
it's just back to back.
Oklahoma made back-to-back years. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about OU or Texas?
OU.
Oh, yes, OU, yeah. Yeah, that was whenever Justin Jefferson had like 4 touchdowns in the first half.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
they made it every
Yeah.
year, and they were just a punching bag
Yes.
to whoever they got matched up against.
Yeah. And LSU won one of their titles against them, smoked them as well. Smoked Ohio State too 1 year. But
I mean, I guess the way you look at Oklahoma, so they won 1 and lost 2.
yeah.
So
But another egregious is at number 7, Oregon. They won nothing.
yeah,
Like that's unbelievable putting them at 7 over USC and Texas and Florida because Florida had a run in there too that was unbelievable.
And again,
with Tebow.
Oregon didn't get good till the mid 2000s, like the mid almost 20.
Yeah, almost 2010.
10?
Yeah, whenever the whole Jersey
when
thing.
Chip Kelly, got
I
them.
was gonna say like the Marcus Mariota years is when they became relevant.
Yeah.
But the highest thing they've won is a Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
They know
What was the comment you made earlier, Lucas?
Oh, yeah, they've have as many titles as their logo on this. Like, it's a big 0. Like, nothing. Like, they have absolutely nothing.
and only one title game appearance, right? The loss to Auburn.
Yeah.
But even like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but even USC at 8. I mean,
So, again, early 2000s.
so they won it in 04, lost to Texas in 05.
Yeah,
And then after that,
nothing.
I mean, they've been bad.
I mean,
Like,
so they're at 8. Texas is at 9. I think they've been more consistent than Texas has been.
oh, I agree with that.
They haven't made the playoffs the last 2 years like Texas has. So, at the back end of the 25 years, like, Texas is back to being good. USC's not.
I would say
No.
the biggest thing that hurts Texas is that 2011 to 2018, where they were just horrible.
Bad.
But
Yeah.
them being ahead of Texas, is that just because of titles? Because USC hasn't been good since
But
like
US
06.
USC technically, okay, technicality, USC claims the 07 title too when LSU beat Ohio State because they were ranked 1 in the AP poll. So they claim a title that year too.
So they got an Aggie title.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
They have an Aggie title, yeah.
We got to sneak it in every week. And
So-
A&M's
so-
not playing any more sports anymore, so there's nothing for us to hit on there.
So technically USC claims a title, but yes, 1 for sure title. But so
kinda
so
crazy.
let's put a 1.5 there. Miami at 14, early 2000s they were good. I mean,
Literally, like
I'll
That's
say
it.
again,
2001.
2001 they won the national
Yeah.
championship. 2002 they lost it.
to Ohio
And then
State.
what have they done in the last 23 years?
Nothing.
Last year was their first year of sniffing anything.
And
Flor-
lost their bowl game.
Florida State's at 12, which again,
Got the 2013
That's it.
national title.
I think they were pretty good in the early 2000s.
I was gonna
too.
say like the early 2000s.
was
till
that
about
Dorset or was that
was
pre 2000?
I think I was pre.
Was it? I don't know.
I mean,
was
they
young.
did go undefeated a couple years ago.
They did.
Yeah, they did. Got absolutely robbed.
Michigan's at 11, which, I mean, they have 1 title.
Yeah, just got the one. I want to see like the whole breakdown.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not subscribed to the Athletics, so I wouldn't be able to see the whole article behind it. but-
Iowa's at 23 with that offense. But whenever you look at this, like once you start getting to the back end, now you're just talking about like who has been mentioned in the media for a few years out of the 25 because
I was ranked how many points they score in a whole season.
23.
Yeah.
Because everybody else, I mean, you have because Notre Dame's at 13. They haven't won a title.
Yeah. They have 0 conference titles too.
That's true. So Auburn. I mean, I feel like any team with a title should be in like ahead of everybody else. Like that should be more than anything.
Even with Auburn, with just having like the one off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like, I mean, I would take Auburn off that list and just put a picture of Cam Newton.
That's true.
You're
But
not
then you do the
wrong.
same with Florida State with Jameis Winston,
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Because
or put Jimbo's fat head up there. Because everybody else, yeah. I mean, Boise's at 20, which is pretty surprising.
I'm okay with that.
I am
Like,
too.
Boise's been the best
Consistent.
group of 5 team for
I would say
Forever.
you could almost argue moving Boise State up just because they've been consistently.
Fiesta Bowl winner.
Well, they won the Fiesta Bowl. Then you had the Kellen Moore years where they
Yeah.
were winning 10 games a year
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
and they're consistently the best group of 5 or being mentioned as with the best group of 5.
I mean, that's TCU. TCU went to the Natty one year
Yeah.
and got absolutely murdered.
They're just ahead of Boise State at 19.
Oh, they're on this list
Yeah,
They're
TCU's
19 now.
19.
for. Well, I guess they
No,
were,
they were
decent.
They were good in the Mountain West. They
Did-
were very good.
That's
in the
true. I
Mountain
didn't
West.
think
Didn't they
Mountain
lose
West,
to
yeah.
Oregon in the Rose Bowl? Didn't they
No,
go to
they
the Rose Bowl?
they won a
No,
Rose
they,
Bowl.
they beat Wisconsin.
They beat
They
Wisconsin.
won,
in
they won a
Bowl.
Rose
Matt,
Bowl.
Matt
That's
has
Matt
a ring.
that's right.
Yeah.
Matt was on that team.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true. They've.
TCU and the Mountain West were really good.
I guess it's just the swings. They're
Yeah.
either really bad or they're.
Yeah. And I mean Patterson freaking built an empire
true.
there.
for sure.
Like
They were consistently competitive. for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean they got him. I mean that was the big jump from the Mountain West to the Big 12. Like that was
Yeah.
that's a monumental jump for a group of 5 school.
And then to make a national title game within 10 years of that,
Yeah.
or we're right at 10 years of me.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But I just thought it was interesting. Just a little. What y'all's thoughts on Ohio State over Bama was? It's.
Terrible.
I think it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see the argument behind it. I mean,
I think those are far and away the two best teams. though.
Yeah, because Georgia's at number 4, which Georgia came along obviously in the late teens. Kirby Smart finally got over the hump. I mean, won back-to-back titles, which is pretty impressive in
I
itself.
mean, they were good when Stafford was there.
They were good, yeah, but they just could never get over the hump.
Yeah.
Who was 3 then?
OU.
Oh, that's right.
But do you
I
think
forgot.
OU is better than Georgia?
See, but like,
over the course of 25 years, consistently, yes, but
Dude, Georgia was making SEC championship games back in the early 2000s frequently.
But that's why I'm with Brian when he's saying like what was the criteria? Because if you're just going to base it off national titles, well then yeah, we can redo the whole list. But if you're talking about the most consistent teams over the last 25 years,
I don't put OU there at 3. I put Georgia over OU for sure. And this is Homer bias. I put LSU over OU for sure.
but again,
3
like I
titles,
said,
10 wins every year in the SEC.
that's my point. OU's if you go look at strictly the record, it probably OU might have the most wins, but they were beating up on
Kansas.
yes. I mean, just
Aggie.
a bad big a
Back
bad
when they were in-
bad Big 12.
Yeah. And it was a 2-horse race for a long time with Texas and OU, and Texas just had that run where
I'll say
they were
outside
not
of
very
those
good.
years, I mean, yeah, it was Texas or Oklahoma.
Yeah. And nobody else. I mean, I guess Kansas State had a few years in there where they
Yeah,
were pretty, they were
Texas
competing.
Tech had that one year with Harrell
Yeah.
and Crabtree. I mean, there was some times,
For sure.
but yeah, it always felt like it was OU or Texas is to
Yeah.
lose.
Agreed. Which
Well,
is why.
and even then, a lot of it was OU's to lose because,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a long streak in that 2000s where Oklahoma beat Texas every year. I mean,
Yeah.
because I mean, like they won the Big 12 every year. Like Texas won in 2005 and
Yeah,
2009.
yeah,
like,
except-
that was the only 2 that they won.
Mhm.
Like in that stretch.
Yeah. OU at 3. I don't know. And now that they're in the SEC, I don't. I mean, they were pretty bad.
Maybe we
this
can
year.
get Michael to send us the article. Because
Yeah.
he subscribes to The Athletic. We can get him to send us the.
Man, I almost did it this year for $1 for the whole year, but I just couldn't see myself giving them $1. I'm not gonna lie.
To read BS articles like that.
Like that, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, they have some takes for sure, but so do we.
It's the whole reason we do it.
Are they good takes? Probably not, but they're takes.
But they're takes nonetheless.
That's right.
So the one thing it says is when you look at all of it, Ohio State is really the only team that has stayed away from a downturn over the last 25 years. Number 1 in winning percentage, top 10 wins, top 10 rankings, and top 25 rankings. So Saban got there in 08.
Yeah,
So he had that 1 year, and the next year they won it.
they won the
against
national title.
Texas,
Yeah,
so-
after they
and
after
then,
they
and
lost.
it was just from there.
Yeah, I remember because like Tuscaloosa was wanting to burn down after they lost to freaking UL Monroe, and then
Yeah.
the next year they win a title.
Yeah.
So it says here, so Stuart Mandel is the one that made it. He took a look at win percentage, BCS / New York Six Bowls, national titles, conference titles, top 10 wins, top 25 wins, top 10 rankings, top 25 rankings, and losing seasons. So based on that, he came up with some algorithm that he put that all together.
And let's not get it twisted either. Like we talked about the Big 12 being down. Like other than the past like 5 years, the Big 10 was pretty down.
Oh, yes.
Like the Big 10 was a bad conference for a while.
I mean, you could argue right now that the Big Ten is a bad conference.
Nah.
I mean, outside, so like,
Oh,
I would.
we can get into that.
I think the Big 10 is on par with the SEC easily.
Then I'm about to say something.
Especially last year. Last year the SEC was down bad. The SEC was not a good conference last year. You had Vanderbilt beating teams. That's
Well,
not a
sure.
good look.
Guys.
Vanderbilt is not a good football team.
This might come back to bite me. The SEC might be the third best conference this year.
I don't agree with that.
I know. It might come back to
who's
bite me.
who would you have as number 2?
I think the ACC is going to be sneaky good.
No. I think Clemson is
The
going to be good.
ACC?
Yeah.
I think Clemson is going to be good.
I think
don't think
Clemson-
Miami's-
I think Clemson is going to be great. I think.
Clemson LSU might be the game of the year at the beginning of the season.
I mean, what SMU is bringing back that entire team. They did it before. Why can't they do it again?
Because they have to play.
Louisville's going to be good.
Nah, they lost their quarterback to the Saints.
Louisville's going to be good. Syracuse.
Nah, they lost
They lost Kyle
they
McCord.
lost the freaking nation's leading passer.
And they brought
Nah.
in another.
Georgia Tech. If you said Georgia Tech, I'd say yeah, maybe.
Georgia Tech is
Miami's
going to
be
good.
worse.
Carson Beck, man.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just,
disagree.
I'm just saying. I think the ACC is sneaky, and I think there's a lot of uncertainty within the SEC. There's a lot of change. There's a lot of new quarterbacks. We still have fairly new coaches. Whole lot of change going on.
I think the Big Ten and the SEC are head and shoulders above every other conference.
That's fine. I said
And I think the Big Ten might be in the past 3 years. The Big Ten's been better than the SEC.
yeah.
in my opinion.
I think the Big
Last
Ten.
3 years, yeah.
The Big Ten's going to have multiple good teams. I mean, Penn State has an argument to be the top team in the country. I mean, you can't. Ohio State's still going to be good.
We see what Bryce Underwood does at Michigan. I mean, you have USC as well, who has a top 10 class coming in as well. Yeah, the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Perennials, USC.
We'll clip that, and come December, I might be wanting to bury my head in the sand. I'm just saying.
I think
the
Clemson-
ACC might. We might look up in October and be like, not saying any of those teams are going to win the title outside of Clemson, but I think the conference as a whole has a chance to be a lot better than we probably perceive it to be.
So who at the SEC is your bottom team? Like, who do you think's the worst team? Mississippi State?
Mississippi State.
Who's the worst team in the ACC? Wake Forest? They're
yeah,
bad.
What conference is Purdue in? They're the Big
The
Ten.
Big Ten.
Purdue's terrible.
Yeah, Purdue's not very good.
I was getting the colors mixed up. Who's who?
Probably Wake Forest, I would say.
Yeah, I gotta pull. I forget who's in what conference these days. I have to pull 'em up.
Then who's the next in the SEC? Because South Carolina's going to be pretty good with Sellers coming back. Vanderbilt Pavia's come back for his 18th year.
Kentucky's not going to be very good.
I mean, they've been decent the past few years. But again, compared to the number 2,
I mean, I would say Wake Forest and then probably Stanford.
Stanford's awful.
Stanford's really bad.
Like those would be the bottom 2 of the.
I think
ACC
Vanderbilt
right
beat
now.
Stanford. Duke's not going to be very good. North Carolina, who knows what's
Who
going on
knows?
right there?
North Carolina could go 2-10 or 10-2.
Yeah.
Like that's a wild card.
I mean,
Okay,
I
maybe
mean, I think Missouri could be pretty bad.
oh,
next
Missouri
year.
will probably be bad next year, too.
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Green, is he still there?
Yeah, Arkansas might not be. Arkansas might sneak a few wins against people that we're not thinking about.
I like their coach too. I mean, I think he does a good
Pittman?
job.
Yeah, Sam Pittman, great offensive line coach. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the Big Ten and the SEC are the 2 conferences, though. Clemson's going to be good. It just depends on Klubnik. I mean, but you could say the same about LSU and Nussmeier.
Yeah.
I've been reading things. People are saying this might be the best Clemson team Dabo's ever had. That kind of snuck by me.
Really?
I didn't realize they were this stacked. This is a few different guys' takes. Both said that, and someone also said that Clemson can legitimately have 3 guys drafted in the top 6 next year.
Really?
Yeah, depending how that's the 1 defender, or maybe 2 defenders, and then Klubnik, if depending what kind of year he
Yeah.
has. But he was like top 10 definitely. He said it could be as many as the top 6.
All without hitting the portal.
He hit the portal very little this year, but
Yeah.
I've read from multiple different people saying that this is arguably Dabo's best team that he's put, and if he can't win with this, maybe Dabo has lost a step because that's what they've he doesn't have anymore.
We'll find out week 1.
Yeah, seriously, I mean right off the rip.
LSU's record in opening games lately has not been very good. So we'll see what happens.
Y'all should be used to playing in Death Valley though, so that should be like a home game.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. God, I'm gonna be freaking nervous for that.
Yep.
I can't wait.
It's coming up.
I know.
Under 100 days.
Under 100. I think it's like 98 or 97 now.
Is that game on Saturday or is it gonna be on Sunday?
It's the nightcap on Saturday.
Saturday.
That's that game. So I think Ohio State kickoff at like 11.
11.
I'll say it'll be
Big noon.
kickoff.
Yeah,
big
and
noon.
then there's another big game at 2:30, and then the nightcap is LSU Clemson.
Dang.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I think it's
Is it Florida State?
State and I can't remember who they're playing.
Florida State's playing,
They played Georgia Tech last year. So
but that was over in Dublin.
yeah.
Yeah.
But was that a one-off or was there?
I think so. I think that was the week before, and they had
Oh,
like
week
travel
0?
time. Yeah, they had travel time to come back. Who is Florida State playing? It's because we were talking about Corso doing it there for his last game pick.
Oh, that's right. Man, how are they gonna do this?
I mean, where do you go?
Yeah, because
I don't know. They haven't announced yet.
I mean, I think there's really only 2 options.
Texas,
really.
Ohio State, or LSU,
LSU,
Clemson.
yeah. And with the hype around, I think if they're forward looking,
You have Manning. You have Ohio State national champions. You have Lee Corso's picked Ohio State more than any team. He's worn their headgear more than any team.
so they have to, but they're gonna have to, but they don't
Actually,
want to
he picked Bama more than anybody, I think. Right?
because
I
there's
don't
gonna
know.
be so many other opportunities for them to do an Ohio State game day throughout the season because of the way the Big Ten is. That like they're gonna be like, we can't go to Ohio State's 5 games.
Florida State, Alabama,
Ah,
2:30.
I mean, that
Yeah.
could be a good game.
It's-
I'm not high on Bama again, man.
mm-mm.
Kellen DeVore, like coaching matters a lot. I don't know. Will they be better than last year? Probably.
Who's their quarterback?
Great question.
The SEC, like almost every team. So South Carolina returns their quarterback.
Yep.
A&M returns their quarterback.
LSU,
LSU, Vanderbilt.
Florida, Lagway.
Tennessee. Oh no.
Well,
Tennessee,
well,
no.
Lagway's back.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say he didn't start as a starter, but neither did Marcel Reed. So, but so
I mean, beginning of the year.
yeah, but so Georgia has a new quarterback. Texas
Tennessee.
has a new quarterback. Tennessee has a new quarterback. Alabama has a new quarterback. Auburn and Ole Miss have new quarterbacks.
I don't
Georgia.
even-
I said Georgia.
Oh,
I don't even know who Auburn's quarterback was last year, to be honest.
Oh,
I don't know either, but they got the kid from Oklahoma. They brought in 2 guys.
Oh, that's right. They
got-
brought
they-
Nate or Near or something.
they
Arnold.
got Jackson Arnold.
Jackson
Oh, is it
Arnold.
Jackson?
Yeah,
Oh, you brought in the kid from freaking.
from Western Kentucky.
No,
No.
they brought in a bigger name than that.
I think it was from Oregon State.
I don't know. There's so much.
Yeah,
movement, But
We'll have to do some research.
I think
for a breakdown.
over
Oh,
half-
Washington State.
Washington
That's what
State,
yeah.
over half of the SEC is going to have a new quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think that could possibly spell trouble.
John Mateer from Washington State.
Mateer, that's it. Yeah.
And I do think, I didn't say them because they're not very good, but I think Kentucky and Mississippi State also both have new quarterbacks.
Yeah, Mississippi State starting quarterback transferred to LSU.
Yeah. To be the backup.
Yeah. He was a freshman last year.
Guess he's just setting up to be the starter next year.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But we'll see.
Be interesting. Be doing our previews before we know it.
Dude, I'm ready, man.
This is fun to talk college football. It's like, everything we talked about tonight, we'll probably talk about 5 more times before, but as things
There's
start
always,
shaping
there's always
up,
conversations to be had.
There's
Oh,
people
yeah.
already making like their projected top 12.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And
And getting roasted.
yeah. And it'll all get clipped and come December whenever this comes out, and it's like, how were you this far off? Well, that's the reason we do it.
Somebody had LSU as the number 1 seed. I'm like, dude, don't do that. Don't put that in
Yeah.
there. Don't jinx that.
Nah. Right now, it's probably Clemson or Penn State. Penn State's loaded.
Dude,
Penn State's really good.
Again, Homer, I'm super high on LSU.
Yeah, I think they're
super
gonna be very
high.
good.
I think they like have a chance to like go undefeated good. Like legitimately.
Well,
Like because
I-
defensively, like they address literally every need on the defensive side of the ball. Every single need.
You'll also have an absolutely great recent track record of quarterbacks in their second year.
Like first year
Decent.
progress over the course of the season, second year win the Heisman.
Yeah,
Good.
that's
Yeah.
which is this Nuss' second or third year technically?
I think it's his 4th.
Oh no, it was only his second season
It's his
starting.
second season
Yeah, that's
starting,
right. 'Cause
just
Jake
like-
Daniels.
just like Burrow
But
and
Burrow,
Daniel.
that's what okay. I thought I was right, then I said
How
guess
good would he have
myself,
been
but-
though if he had played Arizona State first?
Probably unbelievable.
Oh, he won't make the jump. He didn't transfer in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Burrow
right.
and Daniels both transferred in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Damn it, their whole season just got lost.
But their wide receiver room is absolutely ridiculous. Like they got
Why wouldn't it be?
It is every year, it seems like.
no, but like they have they might have, and there are people talking they might have the best quarterback room in the country too, like legitimately.
I think
Like
that-
with Nussmeier and then the kid from Mississippi State coming in,
Yeah,
and then wide receiver room. Like we got OU's number 1 receiver, we got Kentucky's number 1 receiver coming in. Yeah,
It's going to be fun.
can't wait, man. I cannot freaking wait. When are we doing the first preview? What are we looking like?
Well, let's get through baseball first.
and
And then,
let's get to the playoffs
no,
of basketball.
if we have 97 days,
we did it like the middle of July last year.
was it?
It was one of our first. Well, it was like one of our first episodes.
Yeah.
Actually, we did it like
Y'all did
we did like the 4-week preview. Yeah,
Yeah, we have 14 weeks left until season kicks.
because y'all did every week was a different conference.
Yes, and we're gonna do that again. For
That's fine.
Yeah,
'cause
so just calm down.
what are we gonna be talking? What else are we talking about in July?
NFL training camp.
sure. Hard Knocks.
All the Cowboys, dude, they're hyping up Brian Schottenheimer right now. He's building a culture, is what I keep reading.
You gotta stop reading, bro.
Well, I'm not saying I'm getting my hopes up. I'm just saying I'm reading it. Like,
Hope
Yeah.
it's a 1 year.
all I say is we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's it. It's fun.
Good one. I'll be here before we know it, dude. So
Right.
it'll be a good one. So thanks everybody for listening, watching, liking, subscribing to. Tell your friends, tell your family. Until next time, we'll see you next week.
See ya.